Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button. If you have been here before, thank you for showing me some love and support. So today we have a new topic and I'm a little bit late with my videos because I was not available. I was taking a break. Of course, I was taking a holiday. I know in this corona time it's not so easy, you can't do everything that you would have loved to do, of course, but in any case the holiday was fine. We had fun, really, compared to what you think when you think of corona, how everybody's afraid and how it's affecting the whole world and all this. But we followed the rules and the regulations. We did our best. We wore our mask. Everything was fine. So today, I decided to say today it's going to be story time. A little bit stories about me, myself, and I. And today I wanted to take you back to the time I went to Japan and we were hit by an earthquake in Japan. And so guys, when I was young, I always wanted to travel. I always thought, I want to travel the world. I want to go there. I want to go there. I want to go there. Okay. And then came my very first trip. My very first trip on a plane was to South Africa, and the plane was so small. This is a short distance. When you're traveling short distance, the planes are not big. And yes, this is the disadvantage. So the plane was small. I guess it took not more than 100 people. I guess not more than 50 people. Also, we flew from Bulawayo, Joshua Mqabo, into South Africa. Yes, into all Tambo airports. And my first flight was hell. I couldn't breathe. This was my first experience, and 100 planes later, I still feel the same thing when I travel. Whenever I'm in a plane, I pray more than 100 times. I tell you guys, I say prayers like no man's business. I say prayers that I've never said before. When I'm flying, because of the feeling that I feel. I'm not a flyer, I'm not this, but I fly a lot, and because of my career I flew a lot. So I remember this trip to Japan. We were already in Europe. We were in Vienna, and we were moving from Vienna, Österreich, into Japan, and we were supposed to go to Shizuoka, and this was the place where we were supposed to have our festival. But then this meant that we're going to go to the capital city of Japan, and then from there we fly again in a small plane into the real destination. I think it's like small cities, there. And guys, this was 14 hours plus on a plane, the most uncomfortable plane in my life. It's really, the plane was okay, the turbulence was fine as normal, but this was so uncomfortable for me because it felt like forever. Because when I'm in a plane, I want to fly quickly, get there and get out, I want to hold my breath, and then when we get there and simply say, this has always been my thing, that I just hold my breath. If it's 5, 6, 7 hours, I'm just like, okay, I'm praying 7, 6 hours until I get there. It's fine. I'm not this girl who wants to stay on the plane all the time. I have a fear of heights. This is my biggest problem. So we were on our plane. We flew from Vienna into Japan, and 14 hours on the road, which meant that we were supposed to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and breakfast. Yes, this is how we breakfast before the plane landed, so that we would wait and then get into another plane. So guys, this was not really a comfortable plane for me because it took so long. But in any case, I didn't know what was going to happen on the other side. I thought I am going to Japan and things will be fine. Things in Japan were crazy. Japan is beautiful. We got there, we were tired, but we had shows, we had great performances with the children. They were so nice because it was a theater show, and I love theater, I love children, I love working with children. We had our show, we did theater performances, it was a big festival, and it was crazy. And we had also an interpreter, a lady who was, because we couldn't speak Japan, who was there with us on the trip. So she was, I guess she was just monitoring everything, helping us with the language. We went sightseeing. The Japanese, most of them are short, and even most of their streets are even smaller. When I actually came to Germany, I thought Germany had smaller streets until I went to Japan. Japan has really small streets, even their cars are small. You will be so surprised how small a car can switch in between two walls, two buildings. It's crazy. Their infrastructure, I don't know if this is in old cities or in big cities too, but it's crazy. Their streets are small. Most of the Japanese people that I saw, for me, they looked all the same. They looked also shorter, all the same, you know. This is how we see them, and I guess this is the same thing. This is how they see us, that blacks, we look alike. All of us, we are the same. I don't know, I guess. Yeah. And it was so nice. The whole festival was on point. We saw their culture. What we usually saw on kung fu movies was exactly what I saw with my eyes. The martial arts, the breaking of stones with your head, breaking stones with your hand. I saw this with my eyes. Japanese trip was a highlight until I ate noodles and I got sick in the morning. Actually, I didn't get sick in the morning. Me and Japan and noodles, I love noodles. So when I got to Japan, I thought, I'm in the land of noodles. Why not indulge, you know? And I did. I indulged myself. And guess what? I'm allergic to seafood and fish or anything like this. So in this time, I knew this, but I didn't know to what extent. And because I couldn't read Japanese, I just saw noodles. They were cup noodles, and I just saw chicken, or I think I saw curry, spice, but I didn't realize what was inside. Actually, they had seafood, prawns, or something like this inside. And I ate. And we went to sleep in our rooms. And guess what? I woke up in the middle of the night and I was scratching and and then I thought, okay, what is wrong? And I woke up, I said, okay, let me go to the loo. I went to the toilet and my lips were swollen like this. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Yes, but it happened. I got an allergic reaction in Japan. Fine. We changed the city again because we had to perform again. I don't remember the details, but we changed the city somehow, and we ended up in a nice area where we went to the beach. And yes, this was so nice. It was sunny. We met nice people. We had fun. And this is where we were hit by, I think this was a not a village, it was a small city. This was where we were hit by an earthquake. So I went to bed, you know, and I assumed that, because the technology was crazy. Actually, when I got to my room, I had a card and everything worked when I inserted the card. But everything else on my bed had buttons. In my bed, there were buttons, massage buttons, buttons to tilt the bed, you know, maybe you want to level up your feet or you want to level up your head. So there were so many buttons, even the light button or to open the curtains, there were buttons. So I assumed that all these buttons worked somehow, something, yeah. This was true, they worked for really somehow, something. And then so I took a shower, I went to the toilet, and please, I'll tell you, don't forget about the toilet. I want to talk about the toilets. The toilets have these small things that come out and shower you from, this is crazy. But it was also a highlight. The Japanese toilets have a washer that when you do number 1, number 2, it will ask you if you want to wash number 1 or number 2, and then it will come up. It's like a sprayer. It will move forward. It will face number 1 or face number 2, and then it will spray water, warm water, and wash. And then there will be paper towels on your side where you can take and wipe yourself. Japanese people are so forward, I guess, on technology. So back to the room. After my shower, I went to bed. I don't know how long I had slept, but I guess it wasn't long. Then somehow I started hearing things moving, and I heard my bed moving, and I just saw the room moving, and I thought, did you press one of these buttons by mistake in your sleep? Maybe I threw my hand, or maybe I did something, and this button started moving. And surprisingly, I opened my eyes and I actually saw everything was moving. I was so afraid. I came out of bed, like a thief in the night, opened my door, went to the corridor, and saw there were already other guests. This is a hotel. Other guests were already outside, and one of the people that my colleagues I was working with, he was also outside. And I thought, oh my God. I ran to him and I said, "Kanti kwenzakalani?" He was like, "Oh, kanti kwenzakalani?" I thought, bra, la ziyabuya la. Yathi ndoda i-earthquake la songathi singafa. Asikhuleke ndoda siyafa sonke. We even wanted to go downstairs, but there were rules. Of course, there were people that knew. They said, no, please just keep calm, stay in your lane, don't use the steps, don't use the elevator, just stay where you are. These buildings are designed for this. So in this time that I saw everything moving, actually the earthquake did happen, but what happens was this Japanese building tilted. So this time that I thought, oh my God, and now I see the rooms, the curtains moving, everything. The building just tilted. I guess the earthquake happened and it passed, but the building was left in this tilting mode. And for them, it was normal, I guess, in this area, Japan, in this time in 2011, had been hit regularly, but by earthquakes. And for us, it was a shock. It was crazy. This was not my first earthquake, but this was my first real earthquake away from home, away from my mom, away from my family, away from my sisters. And I almost panicked. I don't know how I didn't panic. I even composed myself. I was so afraid, just the fear, the thought that you might die in a foreign land, the fear of the unknown. But this was also a highlight in Japan. It was so crazy. Yes, we talked about it, but then we didn't tell our parents until we got home of what had happened, because we didn't want to alarm anybody. So guys, this was my story for today. If you like my stories as a traveling artist, what I have been through, or if you feel like we share the same sentiments, please comment, like, and share. And please give me small suggestions of what you would like to hear, you would like me to talk about. Otherwise, I hope you stay fine, you stay safe, enjoy your holidays if you're in holiday time. If not, please stay home. Until next time.